All right, I've got all the things. I got Booming Blade. I've got Extra Attack. I got Divine Smite. I've got Great Weapon Master. Let's do this. Oh, wait. I'm not probably going to hit this. So don't worry. I've got Oath of the Crown and Righteous Clarity. Give you some extra accuracy and you can go all in with your big hit. What about you? Die. What's up? It's Garson, and I want to talk about Righteous Clarity because landing your hits is going to be a little bit more important than just doing big damage, right? So maybe something like landing all my slashing flourishes, or the very popular Paladin Dip, and you get smites on your Blade Singer or your Swords Bard. So let's talk about it real quick. It's an amazing feature that Crowned Paladins get at level 1. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. And also a big shout out to my YouTube members. So let's talk about Righteous Clarity, and I'll give you some really popular, powerful examples of how we're going to use this. But Righteous Clarity is the Oath of the Crown. This is the new subclass, patch 8 for Paladins. And you get this right at level 1, which is great because if you mix Paladin or you start out as a Paladin, you also have armor, weapon, shield proficiencies. Although the Oath kind of sucks just a little bit, like don't be a dirge or a murder hobo, especially in honor mode. But otherwise, it's pretty great because it's not concentration, right? Lasts for 10 turns, and what it's literally doing is adding this guy right here, your proficiency bonus, to all of your attack rolls. So it doesn't matter how we mix this into a character. What matters is your overall character level, determining your proficiency bonus. So levels 1 through 4 would be a +2 bonus. It's a 10% increase to all attack rolls, your accuracy. At level 5 and beyond, we're 15%, and by level 9, it's a 20% increase to all accuracy. That's crazy, and it is all attack rolls. So if we're Flurry of Blows as a monk, or we're using our weapons, or we're Scorching Ray or Eldritch Blast, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a huge boost to accuracy, and even if you think you have enough accuracy, you can cast it on your friend. So it'll always be a very good ability. It's probably the best ability about Crowned Paladins, in my opinion. And the nice thing is, if you're not familiar with Oath charges, the way it's going to work is I typically get the mileage like this. I'll fight, I'll short rest, I'll use it again the next fight, I'll short rest, I'll use it again in that fight. So within 3 combats per day, like a long rest period, I'm getting 3 uses of it. I basically always have it when I need it. But your mileage may vary depending on how you build a party and long rest and short rest. So bonus action is really great. It means we're never going to waste our ability to use maybe Slashing Flourish or Eldritch Blast or something, because we'll bonus action. If we didn't realize combat was about to start, we're thrusted into combat. It's a-okay. Use your bonus action. Now you had a big boost to accuracy, and you can still go into attacking right off the bat in turn 1. But also, Paladin doesn't really get an archery style, so I like to compare this to that. I'm using an archery character with Paladin, right? I don't get archery style unless I multi-class. But the cool thing here is it would just be a +2 or a 10% increase to accuracy. So that's one way to look at it. You're getting the same level 1 boost to accuracy on, let's say, archery style. But of course, it's not passive like a fighting style. It does have some limited uses, but it affects all attack rolls. And one of the best things is, as it grows and your proficiency grows in power, one of the best usages is Sharpshooter all in. So this is very popular. Most people know about it, but just briefly going over it, 10 more damage per swing or shot, right? So I'm doing 9 to 16. If I turn this on, I get 19 to 26. That's a lot of damage per shot. So it's also going to cost me 25% of my accuracy. So let's take a look. We shoot at Arnson, he's 85%, right? But when I turn this on, I'm now down to 60%. So that's a huge accuracy loss, but for good reason. It's a very powerful trade-off. So typically, I'm going to try and build around accuracy first, and I won't pick this feat up on a character until later, maybe level 8, or when I'm getting my second feat anyway. So, whoops, put that back. So basically, I'll have enough tools to boost my accuracy, and this is one of them, right? So Righteous Clarity, just a level later, I'll have my max +4 bonus here. So I'm gaining a 20% accuracy boost, which negates a lot of that 25 negative accuracy. So I'll have a net total of 5%. So again, let's look at this. If I'm gonna shoot Aronson, 85 with nothing changing, right? I'm gonna add in Sharpshooter, I do more damage, but am I gonna hit? I don't know. But now I can cast Righteous Clarity. And now we're back up to 80%, which is great. maybe like a blessing boost, or if I'm using risky ring, I'm almost perfect accuracy at that point. And realistically, let's look at it another way. By this level, I would also at least have a +1 weapon, which is a 5% increase to your accuracy. So that's fully negating the -5 that's left over. We're fully negating Great Weapon Master at this level, and that's why I generally pick it up later on rather than earlier, unless there's a special team where I know I'm going to have tons of accuracy boost in the early game. Another one I want to look at that gets recommended a lot is Paladin Dip, and you may have thought, oh, well, it doesn't matter what oath I want. I just want 2 levels so I can smite. But Righteous Clarity is going to be a really good tool, so it does matter which subclass you can pick. So this dip is very common because it's going to add a big bursty hit, and it synergizes really well. You're probably already using Booming Blade, extra attack, maybe haste. So these Swords Bard and Blade Singers, and even Valor Bard, get all of their spell slots, tons of ammo for Divine Smite. So it makes a lot of sense to mix this in with what you're already doing with these subclasses, right? So this is a lot of extra burst damage, and sometimes I see it recommended, yeah, and get Great Weapon Master too, right? But I get it, it's for a lot of damage, but I have to ask myself, I find it not really thought out too well when it's just brazenly recommended. So I'd like you to ask the same questions, because we can actually roll all of this in, but let's ask some questions here. What level do we really reasonably think we can do Booming Blade, extra attack, Divine Smite, Great Weapon Master, and still somehow hit without the right tools added in? Thinking about which subclass should I take, or who's on my team, right? Because maybe someone's recommending this like you play Paladin up to level 6, 7, 8, then you respec into a Blade Singer or something and add back in 2 levels of Paladin, and bam, now you have the Smite. I don't really like respec builds, but it's something you can do with Withers, even in Honor mode, very easily. So starve for feats. Maybe you're multi-classing, but you're delaying that Great Weapon Master, or even worse, you've been delaying building your dexterity or your strength out. Don't really recommend that. So you have to be thinking about, I only have 1 feat up to this point, so maybe it's not the right time to try and add more damage in. It's the right time to add more accuracy in, because if I'm not landing my hits, then all of this is really meaningless to add into the character. And I do commonly see that it's recommended in this assumption that, well, of course you're running a sorcerer. Well, of course you're running this. I'm actually trying to build a character that's very independent. And something cool about Righteous Clarity is, even if I don't need it anymore, I could give it to another ally. So now I'm the guy who doesn't need anybody, and I'm helping somebody else on the team. But yeah, this could be very dependent on gear or your team composition or an elixir. And that's not what I'm always about trying to show. Because sometimes, and it's okay, you could theory craft, recommend a build at max level, look at all the cool things you could do, but I commonly get asked, sure, but what about level 6 through 12? What am I actually doing at that point? Well, you're probably aiming for a very solid base that has accurate weapon swings. So let's look at it this way. Here's something I'll propose. Whether you respec to Blade Singer or Swords Bard, or you've been playing it up to level 6, you're going to have a really solid base to your character. Let's say Blade Singer Booming Blades and then gets extra attack, and we have all these cool spell slots to do Misty Step or whatnot, but I really want to smite later on, right? So in the next level, I'll take Crown Paladin specifically, and right at that level, while I'm trying to get 2 levels for Paladin smites, I'm getting something really important at level 7, 1 level later, right? I'm getting accuracy. So when I do land those hits, I will be able to smite. And so at level 8, I'll take 2 levels of Paladin, and this combo right here lets me land hits and hit big already. And if I really want to go for Great Weapon Master, what I'll do is go back into Swords Bard or Blade Singer, and now I'll get the feat, because now I'm able to do all of it very consistently because I have the right tools to boost my accuracy, land those swings, because accuracy is extremely important. So that would be my recommendation, building a character like this, just as a general rule of thumb or thought process, right? Righteous Clarity is one of the best tools I've ever seen after patch 8 to add a lot of accuracy. And again, it's versatile because it's every attack roll, and you can give it to somebody else, and it comes back on short rest, 10 turns, no concentration, It's really helpful for landing those big, powerful swings. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'm going to link some other videos right here at the end, but I'm actually running this Swords Bard with a little bit of Paladin Dip to get this Righteous Clarity and some other cool stuff in 4 Horsemen run right now. I'm streaming it on YouTube and Twitch. I'm dual streaming, where you can check out the VOD and the playlist later. And of course, shout out to my members. Thank you guys for further supporting the channel with $1 a month on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. Go use Righteous Clarity, hit your mark, and I'll see you in the next video.